Well, good evening, everybody. Live here in the Weather Center at the weekly weather update desk. We're going to cover some important topics today, which affects you, and some of them affect everyone up and down the eastern seaboard. In fact, two of them do. So let's begin. Well, today we're going to begin with the local weather here in Roswell. So I should know this by heart. 89 was our high today. We're looking at probably 70s. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. 65 this evening. We're starting to roll down on that cool side a little bit. 92 tomorrow. We get a little bit warmer. 67. Again, showing that little warming trend, but temperature is cooler. Could be on our way. It could be in store for us, and we might. Well, for the next about 10 days, it's going to stay in those 90s, which not very happy about. But nighttime temperatures getting lower, and daytime temperatures slowly getting lower. Sunny to mostly sunny, and on here they're not talking about any weather events happening, but they are putting out some 10 and 20% chances here for Friday and Saturday. I'm about to talk about that just a moment here. Let's talk about our friends down in Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry, didn't mean to do a little southern accent there, but Dallas, Texas. Currently, some of their warnings out. Child abduction emergency. Has nothing to do with weather, but just to say, heat advisory out. Very high pollen levels also out for them. And currently, if anyone in Dallas is watching, and just to understand what's happening there, there's actually a severe alert there for it's fair outside right now, but dangerous heat index outdoor exposure should be limited. And that's mainly because it is 104 degrees outside, feeling currently like 106. We have not experienced anything close to that here in Georgia, even in some of the far south parts of Georgia. Still not experiencing anything like what Dallas is going through right now. Tonight in Dallas, it's going to be 82 degrees, and just to reiterate, this is not Dallas, Georgia. This is Dallas, Texas. And tomorrow, 104. Once again, I think it got up to 106 in Dallas today. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. Looking at their 10-day forecast, staying in the hundreds for the next 10 days. Highest point Sunday and Monday coming this weekend, and then into next week, 108 degrees. We haven't experienced anything like that in Georgia in a long time. So let's see. Now we're going on to, I'm sure all of you have heard about this today, the earthquake. A very rare occurrence here on the eastern coast because we don't have very many. Well, if I remember correctly, on the east coast we don't have any major fault lines. If I'm wrong, Ms. Darwin, you know who to contact. The 5.8 magnitude is what they experienced today, and I've heard some talk about that being brought up to a 5.9, but it still says 5.8 on here, so I'm not quite sure, but it is just that difference of 0.1. Happened sometime around 1:51 p.m. at the epicenter of the earthquake, and its location was only 3.7 miles in depth, which is pretty close to the surface if we think about it, that the crust of the Earth, and again, if I get this wrong, is about 15 miles thick. So it's quite close to the top. And that earthquake was even felt in the state of Georgia, and also was felt up near, they had to close down JFK Airport, or for our friends who don't know where that is in New York. They had to close that down for a short period of time due to the fact that they were worried that the control tower could have toppled if another aftershock from that were to be stronger. So they had to clear out the tower and close down the airport for a short time. Just give you some distances to get a perspective where it was. It was 5 miles south-southwest of Mineral, Virginia. It was 7 miles south-southeast from Louisa, Virginia, and from Washington, D.C., southwest by 84 miles, Richmond, Virginia, 38 miles northwest. Alrighty. Now that we got that out of the way, now let's talk about the story that I know all of you are dying to hear about, and that is Hurricane Ike. And Hurricane Ike is it isn't a major hurricane yet, but it is something to be on the watch for. Luckily, I remembered to pull up that slide up here. Currently, it is went over Puerto Rico, and I still can't see Puerto Rico on the radar on satellite. That's how large this thing is. It is still covering Puerto Rico. The center of it didn't go over the Dominican Republic, which means that it could gain some more strength. It was a Category 2. It's been knocked down to a Category 1. And it is expected to become a major hurricane once again, or I'm sorry, for the first time. It has not been a major hurricane yet. But it is expected to become a major hurricane as of before, well, right around 2 p.m. Wednesday is when I'm seeing here. And then this particular graph shows it going up, hitting the coast of South Carolina, then North Carolina, then Virginia. But what we would really all like to know about is, will it hit Georgia? And I forgot to pull this up. I need to remind myself sometimes of what I need to pull up. But if we go over, and what the site that I'm currently using is Intellicast.com. Give them a little shout out. They provide some great detailed radars when I need them the most, and they also, one of the things that they provide is active tropical and models for where it's headed. Now, ooh, that's something new. I haven't seen that yet. Let's see. Tropical Storm Watch posted up and down the eastern coast of Florida. So it does look like they are thinking that it will possibly go in that direction. And it seems like all the models are right now green, that it will go past Florida. Now it's a huge cyclone center, so that it does not mean that it's going to miss Florida. The epicenter may miss Florida, but the bands may hit places such as Tampa and so on, Miami, Jackson, things like that. And right now, over the entire west coast of Florida, they're dealing with thunderstorms. Just more and more rain out there is what they're expecting. Now, also, this route is taking it up, as I said before, past South Carolina, and then North Carolina, and then into Virginia. So that's where the epicenter is expected to be. And now let's talk about, could it hit Atlanta? That is a true possibility, that the bands coming out of that thing, if it's on the far western side of this track, the bands from it could possibly hit Savannah, and then even hit Atlanta, which is a little bit farther in. The chances are less likely. I think I saw like a 15 to 20% chance that the bands might hit Atlanta. So that would be the outer bands. It would just cause rain, maybe a little bit of wind, not really much wind damage to speak of. Just covering a couple of other things. Tropical force winds expected, definitely if you're in the Bahamas or flying there. Bad time right now. Not very good weather there. Expecting, and then possibly this might even go up all the way into New York, Washington, D.C., such on. So that's for Hurricane Irene, and if anything more substantial happens with Hurricane Irene, I definitely will bring it to you, especially these tracks are pointing straight towards the coast of Georgia. That will, I don't care if I have to broadcast during school, that will come to you right away. Now, website and YouTube. You can always visit our website, not that it's always updated, I try to update it as often as possible, but you can visit our website, www.zach, that's Z-A-C-H, weather.com, and right now in the background, if you go ahead and look at it, you'll see the projected path track of Hurricane Irene. So we try to put up some new stuff on there as often as we can to, especially what's dealing with us. As I bet you have seen before, some of the heat indices maps have been up there, especially when we have had those hot days. Also, YouTube. You can always watch these and our severe weather updates from now on. All the previous episodes are still on Ustream. Those will not be brought over to YouTube. But on YouTube, anything that was filmed after the date of, I think the second week in August has been brought over, or first week in August, I'm sorry, first week in August has been brought over to YouTube. So just go to YouTube and search HM Weather, and it is a channel, and I categorize things so it's a lot easier for you to find. So that is it for our weekly weather update here this Tuesday, August 23rd. And I hope to be back with you all as soon as possible. And if one of these bands comes around and tries to hit Atlanta, guess where I'll be? I'll be right outside filming it, because that is expected to be somewhere around us, 8 a.m. Saturday. I don't have school on Saturday, so I will bring that live to you as soon as possible. So live here in the weather desk, Zachary Lida.